Hey, it's Susie Juravich. I've had a most beautiful day. It's Sunday. I went to church, spent some time with a cool vibing friend. It was up in Mesa, and my friend of mine is from Houston, so we left Houston about the same time. I love it. Oh gosh! So this video is about some kind of cool vibe and strategies to keep your spirit up. All right. And so some of us may notice that sometimes things are happening with the body and different things that are showing up that we don't feel right. There's something not right. It ain't right. And then another way to say it is that there's some things that are out of alignment. And I know you know what that feels like, maybe something with the body or in a relationship or something related to your finances or your work or whatever abundance streams that you have. Maybe something's out of alignment there, that sort of thing. Anyway, I wanted to get into strategies for some high vibe and spirit. And the first thing about high vibe and spirit is to really be in that feeling tone of love. I mean, what does it mean to be in the state of loving? Okay, so that's one thing, is just to start noticing and observing that love that's in your life. And if there's not that really showing up presently, just begin to notice that there is. Maybe you have a favorite puppy that you have, or you have a partner, or that you're with, or maybe you love riding your bicycle. So love is going to be showing up in different ways. So that's a great strategy. I'm kind of got my notes here. Also, that feeling of that sense of connectedness. So, for example, like today, um, I went to a community that I love. I went to church, and then I had a friend come join me, which was really pretty awesome. And then we had a business planning meeting afterwards. Um, and then through my appointments and things like that, there's connection. And I just moved out of Texas, so I've still got great connection with my business partners there, as well as my friends, staying connected. That having that connection and that social and that fabric and that network of that love and support is so important for just staying in that high vibe and space and spirit. The next one here is this is a big one. This has to do with forgiveness. So, any feelings that you may be harboring about another person, the simple act of forgiveness is just, man, it's like a whoa, high vibe and, great feeling. And when you're doing this practice of forgiveness, it's you don't really need to tell another person that you're forgiving them. You don't need to do a phone call or a letter or go knock on their door. You just go through the practice for yourself. So as you're working on this forgiveness, you might say, I forgive um, the other person for what they did to me. I completely forgive them. Then you might go back to yourself and say, I forgive myself for anything I did that might have harmed them in any way. And I just release all of these feelings, just go into complete forgiveness. And again, it's just a practice you do on your own. But that is a beautiful opening, and that really is an expression of love, to be able to forgive in that way. Sometimes you go to a person and you tell them you forgive them for something. If you really go to them, and they'll be like, I don't even remember that. So just that forgiveness practice in your own way and in your own quiet time is really awesome. These next two are like totally in alignment with me, as a good meditation practice. Now, we're saying meditation and not prayer here, but prayer is one that we do suggest for bringing in that high vibe and sense of spirit. Right now, we're going to talk about meditation, however. And the meditation is just giving yourself a little bit of time to have a dedicated practice of just being in stillness, noticing your breath. For people that don't meditate, I always tell them to start with 5 minutes. Everybody's got an iPhone and or some sort of device where you can put a timer on. Just start for 5 minutes and just name your breath, breathing in and breathing out, and breathing in and breathing out. The next one, we're going to go ahead and go to prayer. So prayer is really important, and the prayer is in any way that is following your own faith. In my way of training as a chaplain, I was trained to pray affirmative prayer or denial prayer. And when I pray with others, and even myself, but when I pray with others, I predominantly do the affirmative prayer. Okay, so praying for what we do want. And in private, on my own front, I do the denial prayer. And that feels really comfortable for me now, is to go into denial prayer. But prayer is good in any faith or any religion that you're working or that you're experiencing or practicing. That is a beautiful way to be in a high vibe and state of spirit. Okay. The next one I'll bring up is yoga, and yoga is about stretching. It's an ancient science. It could be yoga, it could be walking outside, being in nature, to be really being in your body and feeling into what moves you need to do. The yoga has specific postures, and a lot of them have specific points of the body that it's directed at. But go ahead and do stretching. Go take walks. Keep it simple, but begin to use your body. And that's another high vibe. And hey, I love myself. Okay. Um, let's see. The next one is appreciating nature. And and wherever you're at, I'm sure there's something to appreciate. I'm in a high desert now, and I appreciate the nature that's here. I landed in this place, and I'm a feather gatherer by nature. There's birds everywhere, and it seems like it's funny because there's not really like trees here. It's kind of desert. There's tons of bird feathers everywhere, so I'm really noticing the birds. I'm also noticing jackrabbits when I get up early in the morning and I'm looking outside. There's jackrabbits, and that's really kind of cool. So being observant of nature is a beautiful thing. Also, the next one is personal creativity. That when we go into personal creativity, and for me, my go to is writing and creating poetry. And everything starts with the written word for me, and I've been doing it my whole life. And that's been my choice for creativity. I do envision myself having two more things to add there. Just to inspire you, is I'd like to begin to do some painting and have a space for painting, and also have a small recording studio, just a small area for recording. The next one that we can do is we can go into inspirational reading. So having different books at hand, to really uplift that spirit, and if so, feeling out of alignment, just going and grabbing a go-to book that you know and that you love. God, that just changes the mood. Sometimes I look up a feeling tone and I just Google it or whatever, and I look for a quote, and then that really lands well for me, and gets me in that high vibe and spirit. It feels really good. I've got two more, and the next one is listening to some soothing music. If you're a musician or if you like to sing, that's great. Or if you just want to listen, really discern there. Like, what kind of sound do I need right now? What's really calling me with this music? And the final one, and the most important one, for really tapping in to some high vibe and good spirit and really self love, is the state of gratitude. When we go into a state of being grateful and thankful for everything that's in our field or in our lives, that just really lands us in a completely beautiful space for what else is possible. And look at everything I have in my life. Even if you've got some things that are maybe missing in your life or feeling a little bit out of alignment, notice what you do have and be thankful for that. I am. I've my adventure has taken me in different places, and I have to say that in all of these experiences, I've been so fortunate to be with so really beautiful people all along the path. Each one of the people on my travels has been so, God, like a blessing to me, each one. And I'm so very, very thankful for everybody that I've met along this path that I'm currently on. So that process of being in gratitude and really acknowledging even the most smallest of things will really change your frequency and put you in that high vibe and feeling good about spirit and everything else. So, with that being said, we're going to end here now. Just really wish you a beautiful week, beautiful moment, a beautiful breath, and just a beautiful expression of you being you and saying to yourself, I love me. Okay, you have a really beautiful day, and namaste.